So for first off, you're going to make sure that you have 4.27.2. You want to launch it. You're going to go to Games, Blank, Next. Make sure, if you have starter content enabled, you want to disable it because you want nothing in the project, just blank. And the project name has to be exactly what it is in the game files. So, Hello Neighbor 2. And then now you click Create Project. Now when you're in, you want to make an HN main folder for, and this is basically useless for now, but you want to keep it in mind because useful for later. And you also want to make another folder called mod content. Now, if you want to, you can also make more folders to keep it more organized. I'm going to do that. I misspelled it, but that's okay. We're going to create a new level. Name it whatever you want. I'm going to call mine main. I'm going to open it. Whenever this pops up, just click whatever you want. I'm going to click don't save. And then in your level, you want to go to directional light. Put that in. I also want to get a sky spear. This thing. And you also want to get a skylight. Now, and if you want to, you can add other stuff. As long as it's in the place actors tab. So, and you also want to make this is also directional light. So now, since we have this, we can go to either basic and drop a cube in, or we can go to geometry, so you can add different things. For now, I'm just going to use a cube for the base floor. So now we have a floor. And just to make it a little bit more interesting, I'm going to add a box, a geometry box. So, now, and then the final touch we do is we add a player start. So then this is where Quentin will spawn. And this arrow corresponds to the rotation where he's going to look and when he spawns. So now we can basically go to file, and then not package project, but cook content for Windows. Wait for it to cook. And since now it's complete, we can go to the games directory, and also let's make sure you have to go to your game directory, Hello Neighbor 2, and then content. So now we're in the content folder. Then it should pop up with this, and basically this is a whole new project. I gotta go to here. Go to Hello Neighbor 2, saved. This is your own project. Cooked, Windows no editor, Hello Neighbor 2, content. That's not right. Oh wait, I know why. Okay. So make sure whenever you cook the project, make sure to save, because I didn't save, so it cooked nothing. Cook it again, because I didn't save. Make sure to always save when you're doing this. I made the mistake of not saving. Now, it should pop up with the folder, mod content. So, you're basically gonna wanna drag mod content into the game directory. So now, it's here, and then now you can launch the game. So now we're in the game. So now once you're in the game, you're gonna want to get UU client, and then you're gonna want to select Hello Neighbor 2, Win64 shipping, and then inject DLL. And then whenever this is happening, sometimes whenever you use UU, it might not allow you to use the console. So if that happens, just restart the game and do it again. Let's try this again. We're gonna go to UU. Select. Make sure it's Hello Neighbor 2. Inject. And it works. Okay. Now in the console, you do open, and then whatever you named your map. For example, mine is main, so we're gonna do open main. And it works, but there is a few problems. One, the sky is going to be an issue. There's not really a good way to fix the sky, but there is a solution. But everything works, even the cube here works. So now, instead of using this where you just create a whole new level, instead of that, because the sky sphere is broken, we want to go to new level in the file. It's the first thing, default. Now, if we delete the floor, because this is the template floor, and it's not in the game, and if you use it, you'll just fall through it, and there'll be nothing there. So we're to replace it with a cube. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna recreate the scene. The player starts already here, and there's everything else here. Make sure the player starts out of the cube. And we're gonna place a geometry box right here in the corner. Make sure that the lighting is set to movable, and the skylight's set to movable. Fixes the lighting here. Make sure there's shadows. Now we're gonna save this level. We're gonna name it differently because it's not working. So now whenever you're loaded in, we already know the process. We go to select, inject DLL. That says console activated. We can do the open test, but since we have a new map, we're gonna do open main 2. And it works. It works perfectly. But you might want to add objects, and to be honest, it's looking pretty plain. Just white color, and then just just no texture. So it's looking pretty plain, so I think we should add some more stuff. Now this is where the HN main folder comes into play, to add materials. I've never tried adding actual materials to it, and I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to show in this tutorial, but I will show how to add custom images. So, if you want to, you put this in a mod folder. You can name this whatever you want. I'm going to name it materials. Now, you go to import some kind of random, texture. I don't know why I imported normal, but it's whatever. Go to create material. Just name it whatever you want, it doesn't matter. I accidentally God damn. And now that you've created the material, you can put it on your mesh, and if it looks too big, then you can go into it, and you can add a text coordinate, or you can just, texture coordinate. You add a multiply, and then you make a parameter or a constant, doesn't matter which, plug it into UVs, and then you mess around with the value. I think 2 should work, so we're gonna hit apply. That looks better. Looks a little stretched, but that's just what happens when you use a cube. And I think the cube should be a different color. So we're gonna make a duplicate of this, add a U-shift node. Texture can go into here. We're gonna put result into base color. And then U-shift percentage, make it constant again, or a parameter. Plug it into U-shift percentage, and then we can mess with it. So I think green is good, so we're gonna apply that to the cube. And it might do this, but that's okay. We can just put it on all sides. And the UVs are messed up, so I'm gonna switch them back to 1. Looks a little bit better. It looks pretty ugly, but hey, what can you do? It won't work, and I will tell you why. Because if you use custom textures like this, it won't show up in the actual game because it's not in the game's files. So to fix that, you want to go to project settings and edit, or you can go to settings and then project settings. You're gonna want to search up shader code or share shader code. share material shader code, and under packaging, turn that off. Because if you have it on, it'll just be untextured. So now since we have it off, it'll have custom textures. Now we can hit save. And one more thing before we before we cook, is we want to add objects, right? This is where the HN main folder comes into play. So you're gonna want to name it exactly how it's spelt. I've done this before, so I know how it's spelt. Then, if you want to add an object, you do world. Then, for example, we're going to do the camera. So we're going to do blueprint class, actor, and name it exactly how it's spelled, BP_camera. Don't edit it, just leave it as it is. Now, what I recommend doing is I recommend, God, I'm Joe Biden. I recommend placing an empty actor where you want it to be, because this is the empty actor is basically where it's going to spawn. With that, we're gonna go to blueprints, open level blueprint. Now, off of event begin play, we don't need event tick. Get rid of this. Off of event begin play, you want to do spawn actor from class. Class will be BP_camera. The spawn transform, go to split struct pin to expose the location, rotation, and scale. The scale and rotation, you can mess with those, but the location is important. Because if it just spawns at 000, at world view, that's like that could be anywhere. I don't know where that is. You want to take the location of your empty actor and put it into these boxes. So 360 is for the X, negative 220 is the Y, and then 280 is the Z. Compile, save, and now we're gonna cook the project. It's taking a really long time to cook. Oh, there we go. Now we have an HN main folder, and it also got rid of the shader archive global. It got rid of those files since we disabled share code. So now what we can do is do not put HN main and replace it, because that would replace everything in the game and that would break it. So instead of that, instead of moving both of them, we're just gonna add the mod content. Replace the files in the destination. Now that we're in the game, we're gonna add UU, and it works. The textures are here and the cameras are here, and the camera fully works too. I just didn't add the display. It doesn't work on geometry objects for some reason, but it does work on cubes like this. Have a good one. Bye. Subscribe.